So let's move to Canada.
Yeah.
So Canada relationship with the United States frequently been talked about historically as an afterthought. It's friendly. Nobody really cares about it.
We care about the U.S.
Well,
just to be clear.
but increasingly the Americans care about the Canadians. I mean, my experience here this time around, relationship is becoming more strategic. You agree with that?
I agree with that. Yes.
And what are the ways you think that's manifesting?
Well, I think, historically it's been longest undefended border, common values, look at our people on your TV, that kind of approach from Canada. And I think there's a slow awakening. I think it needs to speed up, to be honest. We better not hit the snooze button on this. Slow awakening of the fundamental strategic aspect of the relationship. We're operating in a world where security is paramount. You need resilience. You need to look to those countries where you have common values, and you need to reinforce them. The first way we do that as Canadians is we become an essential trading partner of the United States. In other words, we're providing things to the United States that from a strategic perspective, the U.S. absolutely needs. So what does it need? It needs clean energy. We've been talking about that in size. It needs critical metals and minerals from a reliable supplier. It's essential to the ultimate success of that whole industrial strategy around clean energy. I think as well what it needs is a reliable partner in the backbone of artificial intelligence. Just the scale of development there, you need clean power for that. You need the right regulatory framework, you need the right values, you need reliable people, you need cyber defenses, all things that Canada can bring. And it's going to sound odd, but even the United States needs capital. And we have some of the most sophisticated institutional investors in the world, and they bring smarts, they bring expertise, particularly in infrastructure investing, which is what the U.S. is just in the very early stages of. You could call it an infrastructure boom. It's an infrastructure era, really, is what's going to happen the next couple of decades in the U.S. and I think in Canada as well. It's going to be about building out the new infrastructure. We can provide all of that. And if we're providing all that, if we're working towards providing that, it's going to make the U.S. stronger, it's going to make the relationship stronger, and it will bring a series of other benefits to both of us.
So I know you wouldn't necessarily mind being prime minister in the future. If there were a Carney administration, how would it differ from what Canada's seen in recent years?
Whoever, over the course of the next decade, I think this is a decisive decade very much for Canada. We have a massive opportunity in Canada. We can be part of the solution for the U.S., but gain huge benefits for all Canadians as a consequence of that. So I think an even greater focus on that relationship and a focus on execution. I mean, this is about tens and tens, ultimately hundreds of billions of dollars of investment that needs to happen over the course of a very short period of time. So I think first and foremost, in and around that. I think as well, we have some huge domestic responsibilities here. We need to build 6 million homes over the course of the next 10 years. We need to build 6 million homes. That's what we need to do. We need to ramp up from our...
Housing prices are just way too high right now. People are very angry about
prices,
it.
And rightly so. Prices, availability, the quality of homes, there's a right way and wrong way to do it, but we've got to execute against that. So again, a real focus on tangible delivery. I think that's one of the things that we need to do. We need to get much better at delivering for Canadians, delivering for our allies. And then the last thing, I mean, there's many other things, but the last thing I'll emphasize for this is, look, anytime you have these big transformations, climate, AI transformation, transformation of the global economy, it brings opportunities, but opportunities for people who have skills. And so we need to provide Canadians on a huge scale the opportunity to retrain. And it's massively exciting. At a moment like this, if I can get the skills to participate in, to master the machine, if you will, on the AI side, fantastic. It's empowering. If I'm just sitting there with my existing skills today, it's massively threatening. And so this is a fork in the road. We have a choice on that, and our governments need to align with it.